But obviously a good night for you guys, especially against the difficult pitcher we were talking about
Right.
earlier.
Agree. I think that we talked about it earlier. I don't know whether I talked about it with you guys, but Jack Corrigan and I on the pregame show talked about our approach, and I thought we executed it pretty well. He throws some really quality pitches down in the strike zone. Fastball, changeup is breaking ball. And I thought our guys were really stubborn and stingy down there. A couple of guys expanded the zone. Daza did. Hampy got, rung up on a fastball, down the way in the corner. But I thought overall, we did a pretty good job of laying off the low pitches, the low borderline pitches that Gallen seems to feast off of. So I'm really proud of the guys there. We drove his pitch count up starting in the first inning. Mac with the big double that scored Trev. Trev had a good walk, right? Laid off a 3-2 pitch down the way. So I think, that sort of set the tone for us early against him was our stubbornness on the ball down. And it was a pregame approach that the guys took going into the game. So proud of the guys.
And then out of the bullpen, particularly with Lucas Gilbrath making his major league debut, what did you like and see out of him?
Well, I think there's going to be a good fastball in there, Noah. I think the fastball has life to it. He threw a couple good breaking balls, I thought, to Pavin Smith. Then he got that, that infield ground ball hit. Mac almost made a great play. But, ironically, we were talking about prior to the game when, I congratulated him on being on the active roster. Steve Foster and I and Lucas were in my office, and we were talking about our major league debuts, and Fosty went through his Riverfront Stadium, and he struck out Rafael Belliard, first guy he faced, and then he walked the pitcher. And I mentioned that my first game was in Fenway Park. I faced Rick Miller, left-handed hitter, and I threw a 3-2 curveball to Miller, and he sort of poked it right down the left field line in Fenway, about 40 feet past the third base bag, and hit fair and then spun into the seats there at Fenway. And now we can talk about Lucas's, which is, we'll look back after Lucas has a 10-year career and we'll remember his first big league at bat. But hey, here it is, a 9-run game, and, they're up there hacking. He had a 6-pitch inning, they were hacking. He just got a fastball up out over the plate and Rojas hit home run. But, he was poised. I like his stuff. We saw stuff in spring training. It's going to be fine. But I'm glad we got him in the game early in his, first day of the big leagues. We got him in the game. So, I think he's going to have a nice career ahead of him. Looking forward to it. I love a kid from, Denver, from Westminster, went to high school in Broomfield. I think that's, such good stuff. Similar to Kyle, right? Here's a local kid that grew up a Rockies fan and now is pitching for his favorite team.
And then lastly on Gomber, obviously a much better outing this time compared to the one in San Francisco, 2 earned runs and 6 innings this time. What improvements did you see out of him?
Again, I thought the ball strike ratio was great. They were aggressive again. I really liked his curveball tonight. He got outs with all pitches. The only thing I would have liked to see a little bit more, Noah, was used to the changeup. Didn't throw a lot of changeup. We talked about the 4-pitch mix. I thought we had the fastball, we had the curveball, we had the slider. Again, it's one game, but I think the changeup is going to be a weapon for him.
Thank you very much.
I go to Danielle Allen.
Buddy, you've talked a lot about how the team has just kind of been missing that one big hit in a lot of games. And tonight they had plenty of those. Do you feel like they're really feeding off of each other?
Well, tonight was a good game offensively. We got to build on this, Danielle, for sure. But these types of game can, really let the guys know that we're capable of this. So it was a good one. We exhaled a little bit when, obviously when Dom hit the homer. But we had guys with, big nights. Tapia 4 hits, Trevor 3 hits, a homer and a walk. Chuck was on base 4 times with a couple hits, a walk. Dom had a RBI double and a grand slam. Crone salvaged his night with 2 hits, 2 for 6. Mac 4 RBIs. I mean, there's some good things there. So again, this can get teams going, or this can get a sense of momentum and confidence for the group. So this was a good night for us in a lot of ways.
And with Austin, I mean, how much do you think it just helped his confidence for him to get back on track tonight?
Well, we'll help him. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. He'll be fine, but any time a starting pitcher takes the mound and he comes away with a W, you feel good about it.
Thank you.
Go to Ed Henderson.
Hey, buddy, congratulations. I'm sure it's a fun night down in the desert tonight after that offense.
You're right, Ed. Clubhouse was lively. Moments actually still going on. Dugout had energy like we do every night, Ed. I mean, this is a good group. These guys are fighting hard. The fans and you guys should be proud of them. They're fighting. It's great to see. I'm looking forward to getting back in there and talking to the guys. A couple of conversations I have to have when I leave here, but it was a good night for us, Ed, for sure.
And tonight again, buddy, a good night for Charlie and a good night for CJ, along with several other guys in the lineup. And you hope that this is going to give you a lift going into tomorrow, but more importantly, even beyond tomorrow, coming back to Denver against the Giants.
Well, we hope so. I mean, again, we need Chi-Chi to throw well tomorrow. They got a good pitcher in Merrill Kelly. Every game's unique unto itself, Ed, right? You know that. You've been around this game a long time. We need a good effort from Chi-Chi, and we got to get on Kelly, but tonight should hopefully give us some momentum going into tomorrow.
And one last thing from me, buddy. It was really great to see a kid that I scouted in high school a few years ago make his major league debut tonight. That was a great moment for everybody.
Well, Ed, I know you got a keen eye for talent. I'm glad he's on our side. I think he's got a good arm. I think he's got a great head on his shoulders. Hopefully it's going to turn into a long career for the local kid.
Thanks, buddy.
We're going to Dwayne DeBron and then back to Tracy to finish up. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Hey, Bud, great job tonight. This is the second time in less than a week that you've had a 7-run inning. Do you really start to see that your offense is kind of taking shape like you hoped it would, early in the season?
Well, I hope so. Each game's different. We've had some, tough games on the road. We haven't gotten some big hits. Hopefully this is something that can catapult us to that. You never know. But I do like the way guys are starting to swing the bat, certain guys, which is a good sign. And like I said a few days ago, let's look at the averages here at the end of May to where they are now. And I think you'll see a little difference. And I think we'll see our run production increase.
Thank you.
All right, Tracy, finish it up. Trace.
Yeah, but it seems like Gomber, when you watch him tonight, it kind of underscores his personality a little bit. That, I mean, he's got things to prove, and so if he has a bad game, I mean, it's almost like he's more focused that next game, right? I mean,
Yeah, you're right. This guy, he competes, Tracy, and he's got great perspective on, the whole everything. Sometimes we have to slow him down a little bit because there's a tremendous want to in this kid, which, I love about him. Sometimes we've got to have him exhale and take a deep breath and take a step back. But, he really competes, and he's really happy to be here with us to set his feet firmly in the ground as a big league pitcher. And it's a process, but we've seen some good efforts, right? I think 4 out of his starts have been really good. There's been a couple stinkers, but I think things will smooth out as we move along.
And then on Lawrence, I mean, that's back-to-back games where he's come in and done a nice job for you. Kind of a bonus.
Well, obviously the arm doesn't lie, right? You're seeing, anywhere from 96 to 100 miles an hour from a low right-handed arm slot with the ability to spin the ball. You saw a breaking ball to Escobar for the strikeout, the breaking ball to Matheson for the strikeout. Peralta got a base hit on the breaking ball, but there's a big arm in there. There's some things he has to polish up a little bit, but I think the future is bright for him. There's some things that he's going to have to learn here at the big league level, but hopefully he's a quick learner. But we've liked what we've seen so far in just 2 innings. We've seen this coming. He had a really good spring training. We've pitched in some games where, we were behind 2 nights ago, and today was the big lead. We'll ease him in, just like we have, Bowden and Gilbrath and some of our younger pitchers. But, these guys are our future, and he's got a big arm, and hopefully that, he'll clean some of these things up that we're talking about, and he'll take off from there.
You talked yesterday about certain guys that helped him, like Gibbons and that, but I mean, have you seen a guy though that throws from where he throws that has that kind of velocity before?
Not really. It's really rare. It really is. You don't see that. Dennis Eckersley, Tracy, from our era, I think in the, when he was a starter, early Cleveland Boston was, probably not that hot, but it was, 94, 95, I'm sure, from Eckersley. This is a little different, right? I think you look at, a generation later to some of these kids and the velocity they're throwing, it's sort of a natural step up because, that's happening across the board with all pitchers, but it's unique to throw that hard from that arm slot.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Everyone will have Austin Gomber.